it's Christmas Eve, we've been saying in the press room. How are you feeling?
I hope it's not, because it's my birthday Christmas Day, so I don't want to be another year older yet. Really looking forward to it. It creeps up on you quite quickly, that first day. And we're here now, all prepared and ready to go. Looking forward to it.
There's no escaping that last season it was a disappointment for this club to finish 10th. We've been speaking to fans in the city centre, and the word that keeps coming up is hope, and that they're hopeful for the new season. How do you manage that expectation, that desire of these fans that are developing their relationship with you, and what you can achieve this season?
Yeah, I think at a club like this, there should be hope and there should be expectation. We've got to put that pressure on ourselves because it's a big football club. And I want our supporters to be able to dream. I think it's important they're able to do that, and I'm not going to discourage that. I just want them to have a realism as well and know that this is a difficult league. It's a challenging league. Obviously, the team's coming down, the team's coming up. Add an extra spice. It's going to be difficult, but we've got a good group, and by the end of the window, I think we'll be in a stronger position as well to give a really good account of ourselves. But we'll give it everything. We finished 10th last year, but we weren't that far off either. It was tight. So I'm really looking forward to what lies ahead.
And in terms of recruitment, you've had your 3 signings this summer. Are you expecting a lot more movement come the end of the window?
There will be more. Yeah, there will be more. The guys are working really hard behind the scenes. Obviously, we're here now and we're focused on tomorrow and doing the work at the training ground and on the grass. But there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes and trying to help us improve and strengthen.
So much talk about Hayden Hackney, and you've said it's a win-win situation regardless of what happens. Is he likely to still be a Middlesbrough player come the end of the month?
He's here with us now, and I'm focusing on that. He's been brilliant in training this week, and he's available for selection tomorrow. So, I'm really excited about that.
And with the hope and the optimism ahead of the new season, what's been your main message to your players?
I want them to be brave. I want them to enjoy these moments and these occasions. And I think to play for this football club is a real privilege. And I want them to continue to try and build that relationship with our supporters. We'll be a lot stronger together this season. So I want our lads to really embrace that and embrace the support that our fans will give them. That's something that I'm really looking forward to and really encouraging this year. And I want the players to really try and embrace and build on that.
And have they adapted to your style of play? Is very different to what we've seen under Michael Carrick. Have you been pleased with how they've adapted to that?
Yeah, look, we're not there yet. I want us to again build on the good stuff that Michael and the guys, his staff, would have done previously. We've got some really good footballers here. I don't want to take a lot of that away. I think what we want to try and add, I suppose, is a little bit of us and me and my identity as well, and probably move the game forward a little bit higher, a bit more aggressive, I suppose, in certain areas of the game. But there was a lot of good stuff that already went on here. I want to make that clear. I don't want us to think like what went on before was wrong, because there's a lot of good stuff as well, and we just want to try and then add our little stamp to it as well, and try and fuse those games together.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hi Rob, Simon from OTB Tactics. As the new guy, can you and your stuff really set the tone? Because if anybody's got any doubts or worries about any cracks in the pavements, it's not really going to be you and your staff, is it? Because you're new and you're coming in, and everything you see is positive, I guess.
Yeah, we're coming in and seeing everything with fresh eyes and new eyes, and I'm a positive person anyway, and I want to look at the best in things and what we can do, and that's really what we've talked about from day one. I said that to the staff, to the players. Let's think about what we can do, what the players can do, and what we can achieve. So that's all our focus is.
Fans probably look at the idea of recruitment and in an ideal world think, well, they like all the business in and out done 4 weeks ago. I suppose you are now used to the reality that that's just not how it works in this era of football. It
doesn't really work that way. I've had it like that once before, my first year at Forest Green, when we'd done all our business from day one and we were able to work, that way. But no, the reality is that things take some time. There's a lot of moving pieces in, with any kind of deal now. Even if someone's a free transfer, it is. So it's not that easy. Of course, I understand fans will want things done quickly. We would as well. We'd love that. We all would. Everyone at the club would. So no one here is any different. But just we might have to just be we will have to be a little bit patient before we've got that full group together.
How much of a factor is it for you that you got your plan for the first few weeks of the season and you might have quite significantly different personnel in 3 weeks' time?
Maybe, but our principles won't change. So what we work on, how we coach, how we are day to day, don't change, and then we're able to bring in maybe some new ones that we feel fit that anyway. So it should be relatively simple.
So Swansea City at home, how much are you looking forward to it? What do you expect from them?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Alan's done a really good job there. I think they're changing a little bit. They're still happy to be able to take the ball and keep the ball, as Swansea teams normally do and normally have done. I think they're a little bit more aggressive than teams in the past. They're very much on the front foot, and I can see them coming here and trying to do exactly the same. They'll try and press us and they'll try and take the game to us. They're a bit happier to go in behind a little bit quicker than maybe some other Swansea teams have done in the past as well. So, yeah, provide some really difficult tests. It's an exciting game for us, though. I'm just really looking forward to getting in front of our supporters.
Yeah, and obviously you want your team to develop their relationship with those supporters, and the most healthy way to do that is if it's a two-way street, isn't it? Is if the supporters are behind the team and the team gives the supporters what they want. Yeah,
exactly. Of course, you're right, and we've got to deliver our end of the bargain. I know our fans will do theirs. I know that. I've met quite a lot of them over the last few weeks, and I've been so warmed by the welcome that they've given. They're really positive, and I understand then we've got to go and try and deliver. The one thing we can't guarantee is a win. I wish we could, but if they can see the effort, the commitment, the passion that we want from our players, then our fans, they get it as well. And win, lose or draw, we'll show our appreciation at the end.
Rob, from your perspective, has pre-season been a success?
Yeah, I've been happy. We're not the final well-oiled machine that I want us to be, but I think we've made some real good progression.
And from your short time here so far, what have you learned about Middlesbrough as a club? And do you think the club is ready to challenge at the top of the Championship and progress from last season and even be at the top end coming in?
Well, look, this club has been in and around the top end over the last few years, and I don't want us to be dropping away. Of course, I want us to be competing at that top end. That's where I want us to be. And I believe we can be, but I also know it's a very, very difficult league. It's a really challenging league. There's a lot of teams that will fancy themselves to be up there. So, time will tell on that one. I'm not a fortune teller, unfortunately, so, I don't know, but I want us to be. What was the next part of the question, sorry?
What have you learned, and is the club ready to take that next step?
Yeah, what I've learned, this is a big football club. I knew that already, and I've seen that since being here as well. So, a fantastic fan base. And really passionate supporters that again I want to go on that journey with. I want the players to go on that journey with, and I think we can continue to work on bringing that sort of closer together, that relationship closer together between us, the football side and the fan base.
Of course, you mentioned the Championship there. It is a long, arduous, tough season, but how important is that first game just as a tone setter?
Yeah, every game's important. Every game's important, so we want to go and put on a really good performance. As I said, it's the one thing I can't guarantee, the win. None of us can, but it'd be great if we could. But a really good performance is important tomorrow to try and set that tone of what we want to try and do.
And just finally, you have achieved success in this division before with promotion with Luton. How much will you draw on your experience from that particular season in this new job here?
Yeah, I think you take stuff from every game and every job, and you're always continuing to learn and try and get better. And that was an amazing experience a few years ago, so I'll be able to draw on certain things. But we're always learning and getting better, and I've got brilliant staff around me to learn from as well and help us at the moment. So yeah, we're hopefully always getting better every single day.
Hi Rob, it's Daz from the Red Radio. Rob, you had a very busy pre-season. Were you happy with how pre-season played out, and do you think the squad are ready for tomorrow? Yeah,
I've been pleased. Like I said, I think the progression has been good. We've seen good performances, whether it's a good half there or 60 minutes there, and I think then games in pre-season are always quite choppy and changey, and it's hard to get rhythm all the way through every game. But I've seen improvement almost all the way through, which has been good. I see a group of players that are hungry and understand what we're trying to do and have taken on board probably some of the little tweaks that we've made, but hopefully trying to retain some of the good things that we've always done as well. So looking forward to seeing how we put it into practice tomorrow.
Yeah, and you mentioned recruitment earlier. Do you have a number of areas of players that you would like to bring in before the window closes?
Not a number. No, I think it's dangerous to talk about a number, but I think we're quite clear on the areas that we want to try and improve and add some more depth. I think that's important. So we're really clear on the plan.
Yeah. Can you give us an update on Riley McGree's injury situation? Obviously, he's had a frustrating couple of seasons. Are we going to have another one?
No, we're not. And I think that's the thing at the moment now. We're working hard to make sure we avoid that. So the guys, the S&C team, the physios are working with Riley to make sure that when he comes back, he stays back. I think that's really important now. So they're all putting a lot of hard work in to make sure that's the case.
Now, you've been to the Riverside before. You know what it's like, and you've been well documented. Your impression of that when you've come as an away team. You've also seen our amazing away support during pre-season. Have you got a message for the fans before kick-off on Saturday?
I just think get behind the lads. So get behind the lads, and I really hope that we can give you something to shout about. But it always be win, lose or draw. We will show our appreciation to them at the end. So it's a big thank you for the support so far in pre-season. They've been amazing and made such an impression on me so far. You know, there's some brilliant bits that are lodged, you know, there in my memory forever now. Up at Rangers was incredible. It was incredible. But then the support at Hartlepool was equally impressive. As impressive. So thank you for them so far. We'll try and do our bit, and I know the brilliant supporters will do their bit tomorrow.
Fabulous. And just one last thing. You've made the move here to Middlesbrough. How are you settling into the area, into this wonderful God's country? Yeah,
well, it's great. I've kind of been here for the whole 6 weeks. I had a week in Portugal, and apart from that, then I've lived here really. Okay. But yeah, it's been great so far. I think I've maybe taken in Morrison's once, and the spa down the road as well. That was good. So yeah, seen it a little bit.
Need to see a little bit more.
Oh, we do. I know.
All right,
thank you.
Hi Rob, just to build on the injury stuff you mentioned about Riley McGree, I think there was also fitness side with George Edmondson. Will any three of them be in contention?
No, and I never said they were always going to probably miss out on this one, but Finn's been looking good, and we're hopeful with him for a quick progression. But again, I don't want to put any pressure on him right now, but we're really hopeful for next week.
Yeah. And since we last spoke, you managed to bring Callum Britton into the club, and how important the signing is that going to be? Great signing
for football club. Someone who's, we were just saying before, championship ready, loads of experience. I think he's a brilliant person. He's like both ways, both ends of the pitch. I think he's very, very good. And he brings with him loads of experience at this level. He's really hungry, really desperate to come and play for this club, which everyone should hopefully really like. That's what we want. We want people who want to come here and play for this club, and he's made a really good first impression.
It's obviously got it done in the week of the season, so he hasn't been able to play any games for Middlesbrough, but he has had a pre-season at Blackburn. So with what you've seen in the first week, would he be ready if needed?
He's certainly ready, and he's in contention. That was I suppose the only positive. I know it went on a little bit longer than maybe we'd have wanted, but he was still able to have a pre-season.
Yeah. And in terms of recruitment, you spoke now a lot about the work you're still trying to do and things like that. I mean, when you're having the meetings and everything with the guys who work on that side of things, it's fair to see it's a very united front, and everyone is working in that same direction and knowing exactly what is needed.
Yeah, we all know what's needed. It can be quite dynamic because there's always change as well, and then someone that we may have targeted, then all of a sudden if we're not able to do something, something could change. That's obvious in the way it works, but we're all united in what we know. We know what we need, and the guys are working really hard on that.
Just final one from me. Obviously, through pre-season, you've swapped the captain armband around a bit, given it a different place. But ahead of the season, have you named a new permanent captain?
No, you'll find out that tomorrow. Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Cheers, Rob.
Thank you.
Just on Callum, Rob, I think it's fair to say he was the one you really wanted at right wing back. Is that an example of the fact that sometimes you do need to be patient when it comes to landing top targets? Not panicking.
I think you're spot on, and I think that is something that I want to try and stress, and I suppose that is the message I want to get across, so that the fans as well understand it. We don't want to then bring in maybe someone that we think might be a short-term one or a stopgap or not the right fit for the football club. We want to bring in the right person and someone who really wants to be here, and with someone who I think really improves us as well. That's what we want. Sometimes you've got to wait a few more weeks to get that right one to land it. So that's. I know it's frustrating for everyone, and I said it before, it is for us as well, because we want everyone here and now, but it can take a little bit of time.
Just one more on transfers on Rav and Hayden. How have they been through this summer? Because it's difficult for all concerned and the speculation.
Yeah, I mean, they're different people, so you can't group anyone the same. Everyone deals with things in their own way and in different ways, but they've been professional throughout. It's difficult, and you see it right the way up and down the country at different levels, don't you? It can maybe upset the rhythm a little bit with one or two people, but they've dealt with things well.
On Riley, you're talking about Riley there with injuries. You talked about the work's gone in the summer. I guess prevention being better than cure, really, and trying to ensure that when he comes back, he stays back. Has that been the case across the board? Because injuries have been a problem over the last few years. Is that something you want to address?
Well, we are. All of us. We're trying to. That's not just me. I mean, obviously, if you have your full group to be able to pick from, it makes you makes you better. So we're all aware of that and working really hard. There's so much work that goes on prevention now and strengthening and stability, making sure the players are as strong as they can be, so they can be robust. Sometimes you can do all of the work, and then still an injury can happen. But yeah, there's a hell of a lot of work and information and everything that goes into a lot of the decisions now around players and loading and how much you can do to try and keep them in that sort of sweet spot, so you're not overdoing them and not undercooking them either. So yeah, it's not just as simple as right off they go or they're back out the treatment room and then straight into training as well. There's a lot of work around that.
Just let's go on Morgan Whittaker. We spoke to him earlier in the summer after the first friendly it might have been, and he was saying then that this very much feels like the start, or it's hard to join a club in the middle of the season, but the fact he was able to get a break, came back refreshed, ready to go. How's he been? What have you made of him this summer?
I think he's been great. I really like Morgan. I think he's a terrific young man, and I think he's going to be a really important player for this club. I really do.
It's kind of easy to forget just how good he was a couple of seasons ago. I think it was.
How good he is. Yeah. But I know. He had a massive. Yeah. I know. He did. Yeah. And we're really hopeful that he can go and show that for us. I think he's made a lot of good strides this pre-season. And maybe little things that people wouldn't necessarily see as well. In the 89th minute the other day, he's sprinting back about 50 yards to go and win the ball back, and those things are as important to me and to us going forward as maybe an assist, because that can give us control at the right end of the pitch rather than us defending. In the 89th minute, we can be back on the front foot and trying to win the game. So things like that might go unnoticed by a lot of people. He's really, really taken on board. He's been great.
And in that interview, you talked about how, from an attacking sense, you've given him freedom from the other players, and he's relished that. Is that important?
It is. There's always got to be an element of structure there, but they've got to be able to forwards have got to be able to break the rules a little bit. Otherwise, they're not going to. It's hard to create, and we want him to take risks, and all of those lads on that top line to take risks and try and be brave, because if you don't try anything, it's not necessarily going to come off. And we want to try and be entertaining and exciting at that top end.
Just finally, I'd seen a picture with Red Faction earlier this week on Monday night. How important is it to tap into the fan base, the town, to kind of get the feel of the town as well as the club? Yeah,
it is important, because I know how important supporters and fans are to the football club and to me, but to try and understand them and what it means, what this club means to them, and that is important as well. So it was really good. I had a really good chat. We had an hour and a half or whatever, and had a beer, and it was nice. I really enjoyed it, and they were so passionate. It gave me a real good feel for what this club means to these guys up here. So it was really good, and they talked to me about what they want to see from the lads and what is important to them as well. They've been able to sort of put some of that back as well to the lads this week. So it was really good.